Have you ever felt that something deeper is guiding your thoughts and decisions? It's as if there are invisible strings pulling at your mind, leading you to conclusions you never consciously reached. What if I told you that this manipulation is not only possible but happening all around you? In a world dominated by media, advertising, and social trends, many of us are unwittingly caught in a web of influence. You might believe you're making choices freely, yet the truth is, those choices could be shaped by forces you can't even see. Today, we will explore how the power of social dynamics, scientific techniques, and economic strategies can manipulate your perceptions without you ever realizing it. Prepare to dive into the unsettling world of mind control, where your thoughts, emotions, and even your sense of self may be at stake. Let's begin with a concept that reveals the profound impact of societal pressure on our opinions: the spiral of silence. Proposed by Elizabeth Noel Newman, this theory suggests that when people feel their views are in the minority, they often choose silence to avoid isolation or judgment. This dynamic creates a cycle where only dominant narratives are amplified, while dissenting voices fade into the background. Imagine the last time you held back an opinion in a conversation. Perhaps you sensed that your perspective was not widely accepted, leading you to withdraw. This phenomenon is not just an isolated experience. It's a collective behavior that shapes public discourse and limits the diversity of thought. But the manipulation doesn't stop with silence. There are subtler forces at play that shape our emotions and perceptions in ways that are often invisible. Recent studies reveal that electromagnetic waves and subliminal signals can alter our mental states without our conscious awareness. Neuroscientist Dr. Michael Persinger was one of the first to explore these fascinating, yet alarming phenomena. His groundbreaking experiments demonstrated how unseen frequencies can influence feelings like fear, calmness, or even a sense of spiritual presence without the individual's knowledge. If invisible forces can shift our mental landscape, how can we be sure our thoughts are genuinely our own? Now, if the idea of hidden forces influencing our lives fascinates you, you might also be curious about how certain hidden knowledge could work in your favor. Imagine if you could attract abundance and wealth effortlessly, simply by understanding a few key principles. If that sparks your interest, check the link in the comments below to uncover shocking wealth secrets revealed by a rogue NASA scientist. All right, now let's dive back into our exploration. The implications of mind manipulation go far beyond merely influencing emotions or preferences. In recent decades, companies have invested millions into a field known as neuromarketing. This area of study combines neuroscience with marketing, focusing on how to tap into the subconscious parts of our brain that drive desires, decisions, and behavior. Through carefully crafted stimuli, like specific colors, sounds, or even scents, marketers can create associations that influence our choices, often before we consciously realize it. Imagine walking down a store aisle and feeling an unexplained attraction to a product. That pull might not be as spontaneous as it seems. Instead, it could be the result of calculated strategies designed to appeal to our emotions on a subconscious level, making us feel compelled to buy. Marketing expert Martin Lindstrom has highlighted how brands use these sophisticated techniques to tap into our most deeply rooted desires, like the need for security, belonging, or self-worth. Through his research, Lindstrom found that many of our purchasing decisions are not truly choices, but rather responses to meticulously orchestrated tactics. These strategies make us feel as though the product is the perfect solution to a need we might not even be fully aware of. When we think we're buying simply because we like a product, we may actually be responding to a pre-crafted narrative designed to trigger our desire for comfort, connection, or status. This awareness brings us to crucial questions about our own autonomy. Are we making choices that align with our true needs, or are we simply reacting to stimuli placed in front of us by marketers and corporations? Are we driven by genuine needs, or are we being guided by invisible forces that make us think we need things? Once we consider this, it becomes clear that our personal autonomy might be less secure than we think. The forces of social control, scientific manipulation, and economic influence work together in ways that subtly shape our perception of reality, often without our knowledge. To better understand how this manipulation works, let's look at one of the pioneers of modern propaganda, Edward Bernays. Often called the father of modern propaganda, Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, the well-known psychoanalyst. Using principles he adapted from Freud's work on the subconscious, Bernays developed techniques to influence public opinion by tapping into people's hidden desires, fears, and aspirations. He believed society could be more effectively controlled if people were subtly guided by those who understood the intricacies of the human mind. In Bernays' view, the average person's behavior could be steered toward certain attitudes or actions that benefited society, or at least benefited those in power. He felt that, by controlling the collective consciousness, leaders could maintain a stable and orderly society, which would function better under the influence of experts in psychology and persuasion. Many of Bernays' methods are still widely used today, even if they go largely unnoticed. His approach involved making people believe they were acting out of free will, when in reality, they were being carefully influenced by external forces. This is the essence of invisible manipulation. The idea that people can be led to make choices they believe are theirs alone, while the truth is far more complex. One of Bernays' most famous campaigns demonstrates how powerful these techniques can be. In the 1920s, Bernays was hired by the tobacco industry to help increase cigarette sales. At that time, smoking was largely considered a male activity, and women who smoked were often stigmatized. Bernays decided to change this perception by positioning smoking as an act of female empowerment and independence. He orchestrated a public relations campaign that portrayed cigarettes as torches of freedom for women. By associating smoking with liberation and modern femininity, he transformed cigarettes into symbols of freedom and equality for women. This campaign not only boosted sales but also altered social norms surrounding women and smoking. Almost overnight, women smoking in public went from being taboo to a symbol of progressive attitudes. Bernays' campaign showed how propaganda and advertising could reshape societal values, demonstrating that public perception could be engineered to reflect the desires of those who understood and controlled the power of media. This redefinition of social norms, based on a commercial goal, illustrates how deeply these methods can affect our beliefs and choices, often without us realizing the manipulation behind them. Reflecting on Bernays' techniques prompts us to consider the depth of our daily decisions. How many choices do we make with a full awareness of the forces at play? What defines our sense of freedom or desire? Are we truly accountable for our choices, or are we simply reacting to a narrative crafted by others? The connection between Bernays' work and contemporary manipulative strategies is evident. While traditional propaganda has evolved, its essence remains. Influencing public perception often occurs without overt awareness. As we navigate our lives, we must ask ourselves if we are capable of regaining control over these influences, or if we are already ensnared in a cycle of manipulation. Dr. Michael Persinder's studies have opened new avenues of understanding regarding how subtle frequencies can impact human perception. By utilizing extremely low frequency waves, he demonstrated that it's possible to elicit specific emotional responses without the individual's conscious realization. This insight challenges our understanding of free will and raises unsettling questions about the potential for mass control. If such technologies were to be widely developed, who would hold the reins? Governments? Corporations? The risks are profound, especially in light of today's technological advancements. Digital propaganda, coupled with psychological manipulation on social media platforms, is already influencing our decisions in ways that are often too subtle to detect. What's particularly disturbing is that these technologies can penetrate our most intimate emotions, shaping our fears and aspirations without our awareness. While we may picture mind control as something reserved for dystopian scenarios, experts like psychiatrist Robert Lifton reveal that psychological manipulation is, in fact, more common than we might think. Lifton studied the experiences of prisoners of war and individuals subjected to oppressive regimes. His research uncovered how extreme psychological conditioning could alter beliefs and identities. Through tactics such as isolation, sensory deprivation, and relentless repetition, victims internalized ideologies that were initially foreign to them, illustrating the mind's vulnerability to subtle yet powerful influences. While overt brainwashing may seem distant from our daily reality, its subtler forms exist around us. Whether in toxic relationships, oppressive workplaces, or through the media we consume, we frequently encounter mental manipulation that can reshape our beliefs and identities. The persistent repetition of certain ideas, alongside the silencing of dissenting views, fosters an environment where conformity is the norm. Lifton's insights shed light on a vital truth. The human mind, while capable of incredible things, is surprisingly vulnerable to subtle influences that can reshape our thoughts, beliefs, and even identities. His work shows us that manipulation doesn't always come in overt, obvious forms. Rather, it often works quietly in the background of our daily lives, altering our perceptions without us even noticing. Imagine how, throughout the day, we absorb countless messages from advertisements, media, and social interactions, each one influencing us, often in ways we may not consciously realize. Over time, these seemingly small influences add up, potentially changing the way we see the world and ourselves. Recognizing this helps us understand how our choices and beliefs may be subtly shaped by forces we aren't fully aware of. One of the most striking areas where this type of influence is visible is in consumer behavior, where the illusion of choice is especially powerful. When we walk into a store or scroll through a website, we often believe we're making independent choices based on personal preferences. But companies using neuromarketing understand that many of these choices can be carefully influenced. Neuromarketing uses principles from neuroscience, the study of how our brains work, to create marketing techniques that directly appeal to our emotions. Martin Lindstrom, an expert in this field, has conducted research showing how brands use sensory cues to spark specific emotional responses, making products seem irresistible or even necessary. These techniques are often so subtle that we believe our decisions are entirely our own when, in fact, they have been carefully engineered by marketers. For instance, think about how something as simple as the color of a package or the design of a logo can affect our buying decisions. A particular shade of blue might evoke trust, while a bright red might trigger excitement or urgency. Even these small details can lead to significant changes in sales because they play on deep, automatic associations in our subconscious. Over the years, marketers have learned to tap into these reactions to make products more appealing without us realizing why we're drawn to them. Beyond colors and designs, companies are now using personalized marketing strategies, which are even more powerful. By collecting vast amounts of data on consumers, from browsing history to social media habits, they can tailor ads and suggestions to target us at our most vulnerable moments, such as when we're feeling stressed, tired, or impulsive. This approach allows companies to deliver messages that feel uniquely relevant, even though they're often calculated to exploit our emotions. As marketing evolves to become more personalized and data-driven, it raises an important question about our autonomy. How much of our decision-making is truly ours? If so many of our choices, whether about products, lifestyles, or even our opinions on social issues, are shaped by forces that operate beneath our awareness, are we actually in control of our lives? Are our purchases driven by genuine needs or by a response to emotional cues set up by brands? Considering these questions, we can begin to see the profound impact that subtle, unseen influences can have on our sense of agency. Recognizing this manipulation is the first step toward reclaiming our power over our own choices and beliefs, helping us to make decisions that align with who we truly are, rather than what others want us to be. Have you ever noticed how some opinions seem to dominate public conversations, while others fade into the background? This phenomenon isn't just by chance. The spiral of silence theory offers an explanation. Proposed by communication scholar Elizabeth Noel Newman, the theory suggests that when people sense that their views are in the minority or may be unpopular, they often choose not to express them out of fear of isolation or criticism. This leads to a spiral effect where only popular opinions are voiced, while others go unspoken, creating a cycle that reinforces dominant narratives. Over time, this can result in a narrow discourse that doesn't fully represent the range of opinions in society. Imagine a conversation where people hesitate to challenge the status quo, and instead, the same viewpoints are echoed back and forth, creating the illusion that everyone agrees, even if, deep down, they don't. The media plays a crucial role in amplifying this effect. By highlighting specific viewpoints and downplaying or ignoring others, the media can create an impression of consensus, making it seem like everyone thinks a certain way. This isn't always an accurate reflection of public opinion, but it can have a powerful impact on what people feel comfortable saying. When news channels, social media, and even entertainment platforms repeat the same perspectives, they shape the social environment, signaling what's acceptable to discuss and what's not. This creates a form of pressure that can stifle authentic expression. People may feel that if they don't align with these emphasized views, they'll be seen as outsiders, which can be uncomfortable or even socially risky. Today, social media platforms intensify the spiral of silence even further. Algorithms on these platforms are designed to promote content that garners engagement, which often means amplifying opinions that align with popular trends or provoke strong reactions. This can lead to a kind of echo chamber, where users are shown more of what they already believe or what's widely accepted, while opposing views are downplayed or even hidden. Additionally, the fear of public backlash or cancel culture can make people reluctant to voice differing opinions online, especially if they worry about being shamed or isolated. This environment can discourage people from expressing their true beliefs, reinforcing a cycle of conformity where only certain ideas and perspectives are widely visible. By understanding the spiral of silence, we can start to see how social dynamics influence not just our speech, but our thoughts and actions. Becoming aware of these pressures empowers us to reclaim our voices. When we recognize that social conformity can be an invisible force shaping our beliefs, we're better equipped to question it. We can choose to speak up for our values and opinions, even if they differ from the majority, and encourage others to do the same. By resisting the pressure to conform, we help create a more diverse, inclusive discourse where a broader range of perspectives can thrive. Ultimately, understanding these dynamics gives us the courage to express ourselves more authentically, strengthening our sense of individuality in a world that often pushes us to fit in. The journey to regaining control over your mind starts with self-awareness. Cultivating a practice like meditation can be instrumental in accessing a higher state of consciousness where external influences begin to lose their power. Through meditation, you can strengthen your ability to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming overwhelmed, fostering a deeper sense of autonomy. Each step towards self-awareness allows you to recognize the extent of external influence and equips you to respond consciously. The transformation begins when you understand your role as a co-creator of your reality. By acknowledging the interplay between external manipulation and your internal beliefs, you empower yourself to make choices that align with your true self. With this understanding, we have developed a series of audio tools designed to assist you in accessing this heightened state of consciousness. These resources will guide you on your journey toward reclaiming your mind and strengthening your sense of self. If this exploration of invisible manipulation has resonated with you, I encourage you to engage in the conversation. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know how these insights have impacted your perspective. Together, we can begin to dismantle the mechanisms of manipulation and foster a community that values authentic expression and conscious decision-making. Remember, the first step toward regaining control over your thoughts and actions is awareness. As you embark on this journey, keep in mind that the power to shape your reality lies within you. The more we understand the forces at play, the more we can rise above them and assert our individuality in a world filled with invisible influences. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we'll continue to explore the depths of human perception and the power of mindful living.